Animations are back, baby!
That's it, that'll do it. If anyone can hear the fan, it's because it's jolly well stuffy in this room of... Oh, look, we're back up to 33 hours recording, Connor.
Oh, well, that's an
Did you
improvement.
know what I deleted? Absolutely fuck all. So I think the disk space is making it up. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nerd Bible Podcast episode
267.
264, I believe.
Oh, I'll just say random numbers.
Will commented, death, taxes, and not knowing what episode it is, saying that that's, the only thing that's constant in life. Well, one day I'm going to remember. One day I'll remember properly, okay? Also, I apologise for the state of the microphones, because it's... Wow, that's a wavy line. Like, that's not even natural. I'm going to try and turn the mic down a bit. Basically, the microphones that we bought from Amazon...
Amazon. Yeah.
Other rainforest-based goods places are available. I believe these £28 these £28 pieces of equipment, I believe, are slowly breaking. This is the oldest one, right? Because we used to have that big grey one.
Yeah.
And we all sat in a garage.
Way back when.
Don't know where. Don't know who.
No.
Been a long time. And got that one. Do you know what ones I do want? Those the Shure ones that everyone uses in the fucking the podcasts now. I don't know why it took me so long to think of that word, because we've been doing one.
Sure. Why are we so sure?
Yeah, exactly. But with a H. Her.
Dr. Shaw.
Ebony Shaw. The Shaw. Meg 3, are you sure, love? Wash ashore.
Meg 3, what's ashore?
Oh, great, more shores.
Oh, great. Great, more shores.
But if you didn't know, I am George, this is Connor. We are two people that talk about pop culture on the internet, a formula that I'm sure won't be done to death by the point of 2020, let alone 2023.
2030.
How we talk about all the whiffles, waffles, sniffles and snuffles of what's going on in the media landscape. We've been doing it for forever. I'm stuck in this fucking room.
Dawn of time.
I'm stuck in the sonic time vortex again. But how have you been, Connor? Sweet boy. Sweet prince.
Sweet prince. Good night, sweet child.
Good night, sweetheart.
I'm outdated. I feel like loads of shit has passed, and I haven't caught up with stuff. And in the meanwhile, though, I collaborated with Mr. Michael Skill. Michael with all the skills. Mike Still's review of the names. Why has the name fucking gone from my brain? I didn't plan this, and the name's gone. Why? Oh my god! Yes, it was.
What the fuck's going on? You alright?
Yeah, I don't. Connor.exe has stopped working. What the hell did you even review? I've gone blank.
Okay, try again. Whose podcast or thing was it?
Mike's.
Mike
for microphone.
He was with Mike.
Yeah, and we covered not Power Rangers 30 shit, because we did that. The other thing that was somehow related to the other thing. Why have I gone blank?
Look out for Connor and Mike's review of the other thing coming out. Is it out? When's it out? So you don't know what you was in, you don't know what you talked about, and you don't know when it's out. There's no point ringing him. It's not going.
I'm not going. Help! I need a lawyer. The copyright police are out to get me.
Ooh.
No, I can't figure that out.
Warriors Gate and Beyond. Big Finish novel I've just seen.
Big Finish novel? Oh, well, like audio
novelisation. Oh yeah, so
oh my god, sorry, idiot. Power Rangers 2017. It was the anomaly, that thing that exists in the Power Rangers universe, and I never got around to watching it until this lovely episode. Yeah, and
is it on you? I will Google to see if it's out. You will tell
on the Hit or Miss podcast. Yes.
You will tell us what you thought of Power Rangers.
Well, it exists. I'm kind of, like, to sum up the review, I'm kind of happy and for something different in the never-ending Go Power Rangers universe, but at the same time I want more. But then there are some decisions in it that kind of put me the wrong way, and then the fact that it's been 6 years since the movie came out and there's been nothing, and I read that they're like sort of rebooting the movie franchise as it is. My first thought was, huh? I don't know. I'm proper mixed on it. I loved it in a way, but I also hated it in others. Like, I've never been so divided on a film in a while. Yeah, definitely not the Star Trek Power Rangers podcast.
Do I?
Silver screen.
Is it on the silver screen one?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it is?
Like, yeah. Before I forget again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You
it
said
isn't
hit or
out
miss.
yet.
Okay, so what we've got here is
Not the same thing. Sorry, Mike.
Little Shop of Horrors. So it wasn't that one.
No. We recorded it, so it probably won't be out till a week
I
or
was
two.
meant to be on one of that.
One of that. Oh.
Flash Gordon was meant to be me,
Uh-oh.
or was it? I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know. To be fair,
no.
I should text him because I haven't in.
A while.
Yes. Get some good fucking views, but then he does market it, so you know, it's the one thing. 380 subscribers, bastards bigger than us. Yeah, it's not out yet, so soon.
No, it isn't. Yeah, it's
Look
soon.
forward.
Yes, he hasn't confirmed date. TBC at the minute, but it will be this month in August.
TBD. Don't
TBD.
think here.
Yeah. Kick ass. TBD. Third thing here.
What was this? I must have been in some of these before. I don't know. There's been so many podcasts.
We
so
did
little
What We Do in
time.
the Shadows. So I've been in a couple
We did
Scream
What We Do in the
reviews. Then
Shadows.
we did What We Do in the Shadows somewhere
We
on the
did
channel.
Last Night in Soho was on Wheels one.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, no, you're right. And then,
Oh look,
yeah.
the Silver Screen SDCC round, yeah, because he took that clip from the thing. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah,
There.
yeah.
Look, that's us. Let's play it and copy that and then turn that off.
Copyright ourselves.
Yes, there's us. There's our names. Hooray, huzzah! Twitter.com. That was a fad, wasn't it? What are we doing? So yeah, Silver Screen podcast for the Power Rangers.
I just totally blanked. Yeah.
2017.
Yeah. It happened. It exists.
You talk about
I
the
kind
podcast
of
or
like
the
it.
film?
That's for you to decide.
Very Merry Christmas to all of you. as well.
Yeah. No, it was good. I had fun with it. It was just the movie itself I was just really baffed by. But good fucking cast in it. Good cast, good bunch of actors. It's just a shame it won't continue.
I mean, I can't really use that one, can I? You're asleep.
The energy is gone,
The energy has. The Mavellans have gone.
I'll stare into the camera.
Okay, so what I did there is play a video. Fabulous.
Oh, yeah.
This phone, honestly, I bought this phone case. My phone can fuck a duck. So you're playing your flute.
Making sound effects as well for the
You're
mic.
playing your flute. I'm looking like some kind of, Make-A-Wish, William Hartnell, Richard Herndl.
From Wish.
Yes, from Wish.
From Wish.
Buy us now. You'll get delivered and it'll be. Oh my god! I nearly clicked off the thing. Jesus, can you imagine? Can you imagine if I ruined an episode?
Just by subconsciously clicking
So
the,
fucking
the,
just delete.
the stop
I just
button.
delete them as we record them. This actually doesn't go out. This is all in our head. It's all superfluous, really.
Oh dear God.
So you did a review with Michael.
Yes.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
And we can hear your thoughts on that in the future.
Yeah. TBD. Yeah.
Really, because I just went, don't dig here.
Voting here.
What else happened? Do you know what did happen? So I got bitten on my foot.
Oh. By what?
by
A radioactive spider?
Radioactive. I was bitten by a radioactive pig. And what I did, your foot gets quite itchy, especially
Right.
when you wear socks all day. Socks
Yes.
are great, aren't they?
Wonderful invention.
Like the
yeah.
gloves for the feet.
Yeah. that's a great. That's actually amazing. Yeah.
Basically, I itched
Yeah.
it, and then my skin was really sore, and
Oh, no.
basically, like, I've now got that. on my
Oh,
foot.
how did I not notice?
Yeah.
How did I not notice?
I've been wearing one shoe, so I don't know also how, like, yeah. But basically, because where I've been at work and then
Yeah.
wearing socks over it, like, so cleaning it and that, this is really fucking grim. And for all you pop culture fanatics out there,
Disinfectants.
settle in for this fucking scab on my foot. Like peeling it off, which but then I've been having plasters on it, but also like not letting it just because every time
Breathe.
the plaster's coming off, the scab or like,
You're
gum.
retaking it off. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm probably gonna have a fucking scar on that foot. But then like I've got that's from picking a scab. That scar.
Oh wow.
I got one on my knee. That's from football, but that one fell off. I didn't pick that one because
That one fell off.
That was,
That knee fell off. We've got multiple.
might
That
as well
knee
have.
fell off.
Like, even when like it bites on my leg, like, I love a scab. Like when you dig into it, it just one of them. Welcome to the Scabcast.
Jesus Christ.
What has happened?
The spin-off that we never knew we wanted. The Scabcast.
Do you know what I feel? You know, like how we adapt. I feel an adaptation is coming. Not an adaptation.
The highs and lows.
Charlemagne's going to play both of us
In
different coloured wigs.
Oh.
One spiky and effervescent like yours.
Yeah, sure. Yes.
And
I like that word.
whatever wig I'm wearing because I haven't had a haircut.
Oh.
That's what. Every time I don't have a haircut for ages, I feel like Matt Smith's hair in Time with the Doctor.
You just feel like Matt Smith.
Yeah. I wish I felt like Matt. I wish I was that good looking in my 40s. I don't wish I was in my 40s.
No.
Because being nearly in your 30s is hard enough. We were so young. We used to be young. I'm 27.
Yeah.
I have a child. I have almost like.
What
possibly
I've done.
I can't wait to move because we'll have our own space for this.
Yeah.
It'll be like TBD.
TBD. Everything's TBD.
We can have that recording go live sign that we've got. We can actually plug that in.
Like, plug it in. Ooh.
Not have it in the box on a shelf. Set decorations. We could stream all those things that we said we'd do 5 years ago. We might do them in another 5 years' time. But to be fair, we are always just busy boys.
Busy bodies.
You're always a busy boy. You're always working.
Enough. Yeah.
And always looking like you're about to,
looking like me. Looking like you're looking like.
looking like you're about to arms reload punch Tom Cruise.
Just
I like to think of you
constant.
as
Okay.
Pasty Sheep's Henry Cavill. Which means
I'll take that in the highest form of a
Which
compliment.
means in another 5 years' time, when it's been 10 years since the beginning, we'll have to sack you for a much younger man.
Oh.
But we'll keep Gal Gadot,
Okay.
apparently.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? We briefly touched on it.
Conflicting reports because she
have,
said yes and
yes,
Dave
go.
said no. Yeah.
Can we appreciate that this actually sounds almost like a professional podcast because we're actually making a small thing?
I mean, that intro went on for way too long, and we was kind of like, "What on earth are we doing here?"
And then I talked about my foot. Yeah.
But
so
yeah,
she.
that was
so
a good, very good
basically
segue.
The impression is now
Mm.
that the conversation that James Gunn probably had with every single member
Executive
of the DCEU
boardroom.
at some point.
Yeah.
Like we know the Black Adam one was essentially like, you could come back and, there's maybe room for multiverse stuff down the road.
Mhm.
Wonder Woman herself, Gal Gadot, seemed to confirm that a third film was happening.
Yeah. Regardless.
Which was originally in the plan, but then James Gunn didn't like where the script was at for the third one.
Couldn't
so
stand
he
it.
scrapped it.
Yeah.
We've since had Cavill go. We've had Batfleck go. Technically we've had Batfleck go, be replaced by Michael Keaton, and then replace Michael Keaton, and then go again. So
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
literally mental. But yeah, it seemingly confirmed, like she was basically going like, yeah, I'm back for Wonder Woman again, and it was like, sure.
Great. Yeah.
Do
Woohoo.
we need to?
Ooh. What about Rogue Squadron? Patty Jenkins.
What about Thor: The Dark World in 2013? Paddy Jenkins. We'll never know those conversations, which is a shame
Jesus,
because
that's a weird what-if alternative movie.
she was the director for ages, and then it was at the time when they was doing the no, this, it's phase 2, you fit the formula, we make the action, you just direct the movie. It's the same basic thing that got Edgar Wright to go, I don't want to direct Ant-Man. I want to direct a film that will not be as appreciated in a few years' time because it turns out that Kevin Spacey is a horrible person, but got cleared of all charges or something.
Yeah.
I think we're just going to stop calling it on horrible people in Hollywood because it's really getting me down because they always win.
Yeah.
Just like, I know you don't really, you're not a big sport guy.
Believe it or not, no.
Are you
Hit or miss? I just missed both times.
hit or miss?
I just missed
Yay.
both times. No scores, no goals.
Can we just say, Will, we watched your football video and we're kind of insulted that we weren't there.
Yeah, I
Not
feel
saying that we have.
I'm.
Not
I
saying
am
that we
dis-
have the skill to participate in this football video.
I am
but I
dishonoured
think-
that the non-football fan I am. Like again, like George says, we weren't extended an invitation.
I think it's not our skill that would have been brought to the table. It's our hubris and humour.
Hubris.
I think so.
Hubris.
What was I saying? So you're not a big sport guy, but do you know of Mason Greenwood?
I know the name, but I don't know how or
Player
why.
for Man United.
Right.
There was audio clips released online from his girlfriend that he had been abusing her, and I
Okay.
believe the consensus at Man United is they're going to reintroduce him into the first team now that the charges have been dropped.
Oh wow.
When you look
Okay.
into the charges being dropped, you find out that the two of them recently welcomed a child into the world. So maybe that's. I'm not saying. I'm not saying anything on it because I can't be asked to get into to divulge into
Football
why
brief.
beating up women is wrong, because I think it just is. I don't really
Yeah.
think there should be an argument to it.
No, it's
But,
how we were both raised. Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
there was, there've been, Adam Johnson, people that have. Why are we talking about paedophile footballers? Really, honestly, footballers that have talked to underage girls and, have had incidents that brought upon by themselves that have led to them being either incarcerated or
Mhm.
rightfully not having a career. But Man United have apparently consulted, like they wanted to ask the women's team if it was okay and stuff like that. It's like, well, no, because that's cat. Like, you're either going to do it, don't make it the decision for them, because
Yeah.
that puts them in the firing line for whether they say
Backlash.
yes or no.
Yeah.
Because some fans are outwardly just like backing him, and it's like the charges had been dropped, but probably because she found out she was pregnant and didn't want the hassle.
That
or,
hassle, that legal.
the legal battle that
drama,
would ensue
yeah,
and things like
yeah.
that, and then keeping the kid it's just
Custody.
it's a thing. And you could easily just, I think the right thing for any player, even if it was my team, I'd be like, just pay whatever you need to just terminate the contract and you just walk away. No matter how shining a star
He
this
is.
person
Yeah.
would have been,
Yeah.
like at the time he was on a level with one of our players, Bukayo Saka. Like there was always the argument between them, and it turns out Bukayo Saka has always been the best because he is kind inside and out.
Oh.
So
Shots fired.
Yeah.
Honesty.
So yeah, I think it's just, especially when you've got that much of a media presence,
Yeah.
you kind of would not say anything and just shepherd them out the back
Shepherd.
door. Like, you have to
Hush, hush, yeah.
uphold the integrities of this,
Sacred.
sport as well
Sacred
as the fucking
sport.
club. But
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
that's the Mason Greenwood chat for
Love,
fucking
lovely to know.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just wait because that just came up because of I mentioned Kevin Spacey. We should do this as a topic, like real world events like that. Has it soured your opinion on any films, or are you? Because we always do the talk occasionally when
The talk,
that
yeah.
fucking author with the wizard woman.
Rowling, J.K. Rowling.
J.K. rowing with everyone.
Rowing, yeah, she's
Um,
rowing, yeah. J.K. Beef stirrer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
J.K. Let's pretend that trans people don't deserve
Yeah,
rights.
yeah.
Incorrect, Joe. I need to call it James. I was like, that's not James Cameron. James, I am not Nick. No, Joe.
I am Neil.
Every single person on this
Yeah.
planet has a right to exist, a right to be, a right to live, and a right to love. So fuck you and your bigoted opinions. I've still not watched Secrets of Dumbledore, and I never will.
Never ever. It
Catch
will.
me now, bitch. I mean, the only reason I will read my son Harry Potter is because it was read to me, and because I already own the books, so I'm not giving her any other fucking money. It is. I am torn though, because eventually, like, we do want to take him to Disney.
Right.
And going to Orlando, you're going to have a Harry Potter. Like, her sister's a very big Harry Potter fan, but she's also, like, very much, we talk about separating the art from the artist. She's like, no, I can enjoy what we've got. Like, I don't have to seek out other stuff. And it's like, good for you. Because a lot of people are kind of... A lot of people struggle with that. Like, why the fuck are we talking about all this? Like Michael Jackson's music.
guy.
People now
Man in
flat
the
out
mirror.
won't listen to it. Radio stations won't play it, and I agree to an extent because obviously my opinion on that is, something must have happened for all those allegations and for them to have then been paid off. Like he wouldn't have paid him off if he had done nothing wrong, or at least thought he'd done. The Leaving Neverland documentary is also has its own, corruption and aura
hoo-ha around
because
it,
of
yeah.
the production company's financial trouble. So, it's not maybe the most fullest and clear representation.
Yeah.
But I know some people, I know friends that still listen to it, but they wouldn't, have the they wouldn't listen to it without headphones, kind of thing. They would listen to it in the comfort of their own home or their own space, like, personal space. And separate, because the songs were great. You're one of the best-selling artists of all time. He did those things, and I'm not buying the Thriller album on iTunes anytime soon. So
No.
the same reason. It's a shame because I bought Baby Driver, and I've not watched it as much as I thought I would.
You would have.
Just because every time I put it on, I'm like, oh, there's Kevin Spacey, and oh, there's Ansel Elgort as well. Yeah. DM and underage, because that was a few years ago now, wasn't it? DM and underage fans, because it was In the Heights was coming out, and he was playing the main character, and all the trailers cut around him, like to keep him out of the market.
Keep him out of it.
Which is weird when he was the main character of In the Heights
movie.
But,
kind of like a major situation with the MCU. Badoom-tish, in a way, but then they've kind of not doubled down, but they've kind of had to show more because of a certain low key ish. We don't know because that's still ongoing. That's ongoing.
Because we said before, like, everything Ezra Miller, like everything they had done, had still had a job. We'll just keep them out of the spotlight, and then we'll bring them back for the Flash press tour. And that still happened. We still they still walked the red carpet. They didn't answer many press questions.
Any questions?
It was photo opportunities and stuff like that, and actually being out and promoting the film. Whereas I'm not saying that it's all distinctly race, but you have to admit that when it is Jonathan Majors that is a person of colour that has at this point, we have to say allegedly, you have to believe the victim, so they feel like they are able to actually put their point across. And if whatever way it's found, then you would hope that whoever was wronged is gets justice.
Gets justice, yeah.
So Jonathan Majors, if he's done those things, like we've said before, despicable, be held accountable, tarnish his career, whatever. But being dropped before the allegations have even been investigated and stuff like that, there is kind of a hubris of, if your face fits, you still get what you want in Hollywood, which is still wrong. It's still, I mean, it's in society as like a whole, but especially in the industry, to be that blatant of, we'll let Ezra Miller hang out with this underage kid at a farm, letting them play with bullets and not speak to their family. It's like, But Jonathan Majors, accused of beating up his partner, and multiple counts apparently of that happening. But this was a year or so ago. Go read into it. I don't remember all the facts. I try not to, because I try and remember happy things.
Positive stuff.
That basically to straight away be like, we're dropping you from this, we're dropping you from that. Marvel did the smart thing to not really have Kang be the focus of the tie-ins to Ant-Man coming out on home media and Disney Plus, because it's also a thing like, oh, you just recast him, but Ant-Man was Ant-Man was already filmed and edited.
Yeah,
the stuff he's done for Loki, I assume, is the only other stuff that's definitely filmed,
been concrete filmed.
It's the only stuff locked in.
Yeah.
So the only things that would be up in the air in the moment, and you could happily recast for Kang Dynasty and other such things,
everything else. Yeah.
Between then and after then, I'm not against that. But also, it's a thing of, if he's found that it's, he's not guilty and stuff like that, then, it's a difficult line. You have to, make the right decisions, and also, you can't just flat out go, you're guilty, you're a piece of shit,
good
riddance. Which Disney, I think they're kind of holding out for what happens next for them to then go, right, do we still go with Kang? Because Jonathan Majors' performance is what made them go as Kang's gonna
be the
take
thing.
us into
Yeah,
the multiverse saga.
he's the key.
Doorless.
So, do you just flat out recast?
Kang-
do you change
Kang
the character?
Banks.
Do you leave Kang like stranded where he was in the quantum realm, and when he comes back, like you leave that a elongated amount of
lingering
time,
element. Yeah, yeah.
and then have that come back, and that's how you either reintroduce a different character or a different actor playing the character. It's hard.
It's all ifs and maybes at the minute. Yeah.
I mean, the film industry as a whole, I feel like, is just like circling. Also, my respect for Disney just circles the drain more on a daily basis. Like, so I found out that. Did you ever notice how like Disney Channel shows used to be the same name for like 3 seasons and then change? Like
thinking about it,
Hannah
yeah.
Montana was 3 seasons, and then Hannah Montana Forever was season 4, so it got rebranded.
Yeah, suppose. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there's a technical thing in the contracts in early years of some of their stuff that if you were on a show for more than 3 seasons, you would have to be paid more.
Okay.
So then the 4th season would essentially be rebranded as a new show for
Yeah, it's a
them
new
to not.
show to not get the extra bonus. Yeah.
So
Okay.
you know, underhanding some young up and coming and really motivated actors to then sort of be like, yeah, we're just taking this away from you. Obviously, like the crunch, the fact that with visual effects artists and that, some of them, like we said last week, are unionising, and I hope they continue to as well. And they also go on strike, and then Hollywood's really up shit creek. What else? There was loads, like obviously like residuals with the writer stuff. The fact that Bob Iger's constantly out of touch. He makes I think 400 times what the lowest paid employee at Disney makes. And
What the hell?
there was
Yeah.
a thing. There was a meeting on like a Jeff Bezos yacht like a year or so ago, and or like a couple of months ago. A couple of months ago actually it would have been. I forget. I don't know what day it is anymore. That if they sold the yacht, it would be enough to pay for the demands of the actors and writers for 10 years.
Wow.
Like
Oh,
so for
that's-
them to meet the bare minimum for health insurance, because you have to make you have to cross a certain
A
threshold.
certain threshold. Yeah.
And a lot of the big names that are striking,
Uh-huh.
they're not striking for themselves. They're striking because their name being talked about in it
Yeah.
puts more pressure on the street. Like like if Robert Downey Jr. is striking,
Yeah.
like, he can more than afford it.
Yeah.
And they're also the ones that are higher up that are making all the money, because it's 1% of the Actors Guild that are flat out millionaires or something like that.
Okay.
Um,
Great.
another like I want to say like a 15 to 20% more than that are well off, like comfortable, like they live comfortably,
Yeah.
and the rest are like bottom line trying to make
do
the
their
bare minimum,
Yeah.
like jobbing actors that just want to get to the point where their star is like elevating. So the big ones that support the little ones, I think that's all it's fantastic that they're also in a position to do it, because they're paying the money that the studio should be paying. Like we said, A24 are the only ones that are allowed to film at the minute, because they straight up went, whatever the demands are, we'll meet them. And if you film over here,
Okay.
you can, because I believe it was reported that Deadpool come over here to start
I
filming.
think they did. Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
I think it's stopped. Has it stopped filming now? or
I
is
believe
it
it stopped.
because over here,
'Cause that's why we
because
got-
there's
yeah.
no, the guilds don't exist over here, because obviously it's Writers Guild of America, the
Yeah.
Actors Guild of
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
Being a writer in Great Britain, you don't have to be part of a guild or like the union to essentially like do it, because it's not as big over here. Whereas like you have that whole thing of like in LA is where all the writers and actors and stuff live if you want to make it in movies, and New York is theatre.
The West Coast. Yeah. It's all the West Coast.
So like they obviously have had to unionise, because that's the industry. It's like
Yeah.
it's basically like a big factory of making TV and film. Whereas over here there's less of that, because it's kind of a cheat around, because a lot of people were taking umbrage with Ryan Reynolds initially filming over here because they carried on filming. I don't know if it's stopped for now.
I think he did.
'Cause
I
I think
thought he did.
he bought it over here because he was sorting out stuff, because he's still filming season 2 of
Wrexham.
We Are Wrexham, or Welcome to Wrexham. So that was part of the workaround. But he can also, like, as soon as he's finished filming, he could go back over to LA and then get in the pick
Carry on.
lines. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Because obviously he's part of he's a producer as well, so he's part of the PGA as well. So it's whereas a lot of there are obviously producers that are writers, but not all producers are writers, not all writers are producers, but like there is a cross section. But the ones that are the arseholes are just the flat out the day-to-day producers, and like the heads up of the bigger companies that are just kind of like they're well off. They do little work in comparison to
everyone
it's like
else
in any business.
Yeah, of course.
Like
of course.
With retail, we both know with that. Like
Yeah.
the ones that do the most work are the lowest paid, and the ones that are the highest paid do very little.
Yeah. Facts.
And that's just in industries throughout up and down the land. So, but I digress. That's how fucking capitalism works. Where's it going with this? But not all there's not all the good writers aren't in the union, and all the writers in the union aren't necessarily great writers. But there is there's a lot of them that are in there. Like there is a correlation, but some of them obviously like over here. I don't know if Neil Gaiman's in the WGA. I don't know if he's in the PGA, because obviously recently he's been doing obviously with Good Omens and stuff like having a producer and creative credit as well. Moffat and stuff, like mainly the ones that we would be able to associate with the most, like Doctor Who writers. I don't think they're in the guild,
involved,
and obviously there isn't anything big over here. Yeah, because it's weird, because we're going to get to a point where we'll run out of films again, because Hollywood want AI. But have you we read that AI Batman script like a few
weeks ago,
years ago, months, something like that. And
you don't feel that long ago.
He is sad because he is an orphan and stuff like that. But it's also not an AI. It's I think it's been referred to as it's more of a GI. Like it's a general
interpretation script,
general intelligence, because you have to feed it the stuff for it to
produce the stuff.
Produce it. It doesn't do it out of its own cognitive thought.
Yeah.
But yeah. What was we talking about? We were talking originally about Gal Gadot. How was that? Yeah. Also, did you see that someone shared a thing that adult film star Johnny Sins was going to play Lex Luthor, like a joke Twitter account. And someone asked James Gunn, and he went, "You can't honestly believe that that's real, could you?"
Even he was like,
which makes me think, oh god, imagine if he did, just out of jokes, like here's a porn guy as Lex Luthor.
Wow, yeah.
What?
I mean,
it certainly bring the ratings.
Tish.
Question mark. Let me let you as whole. Okay, so the controversy. So we like controversy. Well, we don't really, but the editing of certain materials, whether that be the deletion of some stuff from streaming services, or the complete and outright change of how things went down on stuff. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know the general topic, but what has been edited this week? What's changed?
In recent years, we've had. Sorry, did you know that there's been someone put out a tweet. I'm going to keep calling it Twitter because that's what it is, and I'll get back to the story in a minute. I'll stop distracting myself. But someone put out a tweet that was, it's mad that we've had 18 MCU projects since we last saw Captain America, and nothing's happened since. But someone went, I think it's more insane that we've had 18 MCU projects since the end of March 2021. When you think about it, like in 2 and a bit years.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Especially when we was used to 2 or 3.
Quality control, yeah, that's a lot.
I'm glad this one's scaled out. Like, I've nearly finished Secret Invasion, and fuck me, it is taking a time. I've just passed the point where Rhodey's a Skrull.
Spoiler alert.
I saw that when it went on Twitter, so... Like, I'd seen that clip and everyone was like, how you feeling about that ending? It was like, oh, now I know.
Yeah, but it was that scene before all that goes down. He just turns into an arse all of a sudden, and it's like, oh, I wonder what this means then.
Yeah. Oh, maybe he's a Skrull. Oh, he's a Skrull.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, what was it? What the fuck was I on about?
Deleting and editing.
Deleting things. Well
products.
Done. Thank you very much.
Making alterations to media. Bad corporations.
WandaVision ended one way, and then was changed to what we thought was to line up more with Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness.
But then
Dense.
I've never seen the change. I've literally gone on sites and seen the difference. When I've booted up Disney Plus myself, I've never seen, like, because it was the trees and then it was like you saw a bit of red. I'd never seen anything personally.
You basically had a shape that might have been Doctor Strange in maybe a different version of an opening or link between Multiverse of Madness. You had one of the soldiers that was impaled was no longer impaled in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh right. Where was that?
Let me just type in MCU Disney
Plus changes, I don't know.
Plus edits.
Yeah, it is a tutorial.
Changes because that'll be a fucking montage. MCU Disney Plus changes. There we go. All the times Disney Plus updated Marvel content after the fact.
Oh dear.
Keep it on mute.
After an
And
advert.
we'll let that play. Oh, Gal Gadot. Oh, that's
Heart of Stone.
Heart of
Stone. I
Heart
think.
of shit. Or something. I don't know. But the recent one has been Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. The digital change.
Yeah.
A couple of the frames at the end are only.
Lines are different. I know dialogue was changed. Yeah, I did watch this over the weekend. Yes.
I've got one that might annoy you.
There was a couple that annoyed me, but no, what? I wasn't aware of that.
They changed the Lego one.
Huh?
So
What?
I don't know if it's the same artist that did it,
Yeah. What?
but the theatre version, like, it's just like a white bricked out background, but then
Yeah,
more of an
but-
apartment dress, and you see Peter's face,
I mean,
and then
huh? Oh, blue jeans guy. What?
yeah. So that's one of the ones I saw. There is a better thing of it somewhere. But there was basically a list of like some of the changes that have, like some of the lines of dialogue would never be seen or heard again. And people are like, it's a real shame that, like, you know, have it, but then have the have the alternate stuff in it. Like when stuff's different by the country that you're in.
It's all because of French censors, apparently. Spider-Verse producers explain different versions of the film. It's all because of French censors.
Go on then, hit us with that while I watch this bit. There was a cameraman in Moon Knight.
Oh
Never noticed
dear.
that. But Moon Knight was so good, I just didn't fucking know.
I didn't pay attention to that. There was an international version that was made almost 2 months ago before the movie came out. Explained Christopher Miller to Total Film. It had to be translated to different languages, and these French censors have to decide what the rating of the movie is in Europe. The team at Sony Pictures Imageworks still had some shots that they felt they could do better for the finished version, so they cleaned up and tweaked those things. That's right, Sony was still working on the film, finishing off shots they were unhappy with. Miller added that the film's crew took this opportunity to tweak things. Certain crew members, people in the sound department or an animation team were like, oh, could we do this instead? Let's do the best possible version we can, because it's a multiverse movie. It's like there's a multiverse of the movie. That was really the reasoning behind it. It was trying to make the best possible version that everyone was going to be the proudest of. I think, and Phil Lord quotes, I think most of the changes are improvement. Unfortunately, some fans disagree. Some of the most egregious changes. Egregious, there you go. Yeah, egregious changes seem to be cut lines, especially when Miles says, "Sorry, man, I'm going home," after his altercation with Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099. At least two different versions of Across the Spider-Verse debuted in theaters. However, while some fans were eager to see it as a play on the multiverse aspect of the movie, others believe it's likely due to changes implemented when Sony swapped out the prints due to technical issues with the film's audio. Yeah, now that the fact that Sony was still tweaking the movie seems to support that. And then it just goes on to their fucking review score. That's it. Okay.
Miss Marvel originally had a traditional coloured Statue
Oh,
of Liberty. And
when they changed
They
it?
changed it to match the colour of the Statue of Liberty in Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh,
That one, it's bronze because it's having work done.
yeah. Well, I suppose there's more continuity though.
I've still not finished Miss Marvel, so.
Yeah. I know that there's like to the end of Into the Spider-Verse, there's more like detail and lines on Miles Morales' face at the end. You saw Across the Spider-Verse, didn't you?
I've still not seen it.
Oh wow, okay. I can't talk about it.
Yeah, you can talk about it because I still it's annoying because it's one of them things that like we both want to see, we just haven't had the time for. Like also like the Meg, I still need to go and see that because now we're down to like 140x showing a day.
Yeah.
It's like I just want to see the fucking thing. Avengers Tower mistake in Hawkeye.
Right.
So.
Oh, okay, now it's Tack, and now it's
Yeah. So basically, yeah, because the K wouldn't be there.
Oh,
Okay.
I see. Continuity.
Vision error. So this isn't great for an audio medium, but we're essentially Vision's arm.
There's a bit of human skin.
Didn't notice. So them
No, that's what I mean.
small wholesale changes.
What's
Opening
the
credits
point?
name change. Just
The
from
Vision to Vision. What's the point?
But he's been referred to as both. So
yeah, what's the point?
in credit changes. That's the more. Is this the shape and the more tree lines bit?
It's a tree. Floating image. What even is that? It just looks like a bit of mountain in a tree. That don't look anything suspicious to me. Original.
Okay, so there's the original. Trees, lake, mountains,
Yeah.
and we're going to assume that there's more. Yeah, heavier
Right.
tree line. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all it does is look more like the
Yeah, but
like where Wolverine and Hulk fought the Wendigo. I've still not seen the shape.
Well, that's what I mean. But the shape was a hoax.
See that
Doctor
yeah, because
Strange
they
theme.
added the Doctor Strange theme into the credits. Like there's a
Oh.
motif at the end of the.
Hmm.
This is obviously a famous one.
Yeah, the floating head.
Floating head, Thor: Love and Thunder. Doesn't make any difference. That arguably looks worse.
I think that looks worse. Yeah. Baffling, that one.
Netflix name stripped
Strip?
from.
Oh, well, that
Makes
makes sense.
sense.
Yeah, that makes sense, though. I mean, they put Disney Plus instead of Netflix. No. It's like putting. Yeah.
I mean, all the Netflix shows have like had the Netflix original series, which I get, but you could just do an original series.
Yeah, you could if you.
Because at the end of the day, that's what it was. Obviously, AKA was added to the front of Jessica Jones, much like the comic title. It's
Yeah.
changed back though, I think.
Oh, is it?
I think it's changed back to Jessica Jones. Unless you call the follow up like you got Daredevil Born Again, you do a follow up and it's AKA Jessica Jones. Because then it's like, yeah, this one. So instead of being paralysed, now it hits off her head.
Right.
Yeah, like bounces off.
Oh.
And then look, so instead of blood dripping, eyes open, no blood, eyes closed. So unconscious is inferred.
Oh, that's silly. That one's silly.
All Hail the King got censored. Don't like this.
What do they do?
So there's Ben Kingsley. There's some men. This is great. I can't believe they've done a one shot as well. I get with the new stuff, like as you're making it,
Yeah.
but to go back and alter, because now we're going to
Old
have a bit of
stuff.
a Mandela effect. We're going to remember versions of MCU stuff that now no longer exists, unless you've got the original Thor: The Dark World Blu-ray to watch that on.
Yeah.
The thing is, this guy's talking, but I've got it on mute because
Copyright.
I just can't be asked.
Eh. Yeah.
Oh, so it censors some of the script.
Oh.
Spider-Man and his amazing friends loses an episode.
Oh. Oh, but why? Why have they cut that one?
Quest for
then?
the Red Skull is gone. 11. Yeah, episode 12.
Oh. Probably because of some Nazi racial German allegory.
Oh yeah, probably
Red
like some
Skull.
of that stuff
Yeah.
that's, you know, horrendously outdated. But like we say with everything, preface. Fantastic Four losing episode one. Episode 4. Wow, the fucking one number we need. X-Men loses an episode.
Oh, come on, man.
Loses a book title. What the fuck? Oh, right.
Oh, good. I was gonna say. So I can read it anyway, but
Let's put it on full screen. Nope, still can't read it.
That is, yeah.
We're in full. I can't see that.
Oh,
So I'm guessing the title just disappears from the book. Oh, it gets blurred.
oh no. What's wrong with a cheeky logo? I can't even read what it is.
Deadpool gets some well-placed blurring. This is going to be in the strip club, possibly.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably can't show because it is probably what you just said, but yeah. You go, oh my god. And this was 6 months ago.
This is. Can we please update this error? The 8 years later on fucking Homecoming. Yes, definitely, because it's not 2020. Like, update that. Fucking change that. And then the conclusion. It's like the preserving your own history thing that we said about before, isn't it? It's questionable. It's horrible. It's not fun.
Pointless. Well, pointless, but you're editing mistakes. You're making us to be the perfect race, and people learn from mistakes, and we grow as people.
But also, it's not like these. Like, you've got outdated stuff in there.
No,
Like-
horrendously. Yeah. I get some were continuity errors. That yes, all right, we cocked up, put in the wrong number in the years, and all right, we've gone back and
Yeah,
changed.
but that's one they've asked for. Like, if
Yeah,
you're going to do stuff, do
exactly.
that. It's like,
totally
yeah,
get that. Yeah.
tidy up the whole thing.
But then to tidy up your mistake and then go, oh no, I don't like this. Let's smudge this a little tint, or oh look, let's take it from another angle. Like, why?
'Cause unfortunately, you can't take away the first time you watched any of these
Something.
films.
Yeah.
So to then be like that, it's then you're losing something, and it's. And I'm just really going off Disney, like with their attitudes to some stuff. Like
Some
I had a
stuff.
whole load of stuff before, but I don't think I screenshotted all of it. But it's just their behaviour. Here we go. This is one of the things as well. VFX coordinator Mark Patch says that when working on WandaVision, he was told, "You're not going to have any more days off in the next 3 months until we deliver episode 10," which is one that got
Cut.
in the end it ultimately got dropped.
Yeah.
He said we were already working 18-hour days and not paid more because they're like you get paid a flat rate on stuff like that, and you get you don't. There was like no overtime kind of thing. It was kind of like you're working this, like it was more salary based than hourly kind of. You know what I mean? And it's the argument that's going on, with the writers and the actors, and should be for the visual effects artists as well, is like we said, the residuals. So you get David Dismulchen talked about it. A film he did a few years ago. He got paid 20 grand for something like that, and then has made 30 odd grand from residual checks in the years since.
Yeah.
People figured out he was talking about The Dark Knight when he was in that. So he come in and did like a couple of days work,
And
and
made
then-
that much off of it.
because like with the residuals, because that is always put in an IMAX festival of some kind, wherever, because it's being
Yeah.
brought back out again for
It's
for
got
Batman
showing
Day
or something,
in
yeah.
Odeon cinemas.
Yeah.
So like
yeah.
every time stuff like that, when it gets sold to different networks, if it's put on streaming, things like that, you get residuals from that, and that's helping get by. And when you work out what it is, I think it works out like just over like a grand. What is it, a year? So it was like when the Dark Knight 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So we'll divide live maths. 30,000 divided by 15 years. So it works out at roughly like $2,000 a year, which isn't a lot, but still that's
Still better than nothing.
that's putting towards
Yeah.
like house
House.
bills and things like that. And some people don't even get that. Some so it's the same for writing an episode. Like if you name names on the credit, you wrote the episode. When if the series gets sold to Netflix, for example, to put old stuff, like when Friends goes on there, so then they get residuals from that because like everyone does. So you get like maybe you paid £200 initially for writing your episode, and so you get £100 every year. Like
After
that, it's basically that kind of thing. The argument for Netflix is always streaming, more so when it was YouTube was becoming the forefront. Web content, webisodes, like basically like mini episodes on YouTube and things like that and other such videos, it was deemed like you don't need residuals because one that's on the internet, it's there forever. So you don't get residuals from Netflix stuff.
I see.
And
Okay.
like, you know, the argument is, well, do it on views. Oh, like we don't have viewing figures, like, but you say they come out and will say like it's the third most watched film on Netflix ever.
And yet they don't have views.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have ways of working around it. They have like, you know,
Mm.
the territories, and we've got to do it off of the increase of subscribers or whatever, and whatever, like influx from that. And so they'll always have ways around it because there's no real way of measuring it. kind of
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So that's the kind of shit that they do, like both the writers and the actors. You know, it's mainly aimed at the streaming stuff, but like the streaming stuff started it, and then the companies like Disney have put their stuff on there. So then they can make changes to your work and essentially, like, you know, cut you out of an episode of something you did like 4 or 5 years ago. So if you was on a residual for that, if they've edited you out of it, if they can do that and edit you out of it, then that's
fucking
then you're
brilliant.
not got it anymore. What was it that was? It was Cats. Cats in the cinema had a different version because they edited out the buttholes.
Oh right.
I remember that from 2019. Because they put a second version of that in the cinemas, like where they
all
changed
because
that.
of an
the
anus.
butthole
Yeah.
cut.
Oh wow.
But
Release the
we're
butthole
not here to
cut.
talk about the Flash. You know, I've still not watched it. It's on the home premiere on Amazon.
Yeah, it is. Yes.
Would you be surprised if I told you I'm not interested? You told
Yes.
me. You told me the good bits.
You saw the good bits and told me it was real, and I went, "How is that fucking face real?"
It's only because I
On the
was told it
occasion.
was real, so I told
no,
you it was
no,
real.
No, but I was mortified. I was like,
Now
"Huh?"
I've seen better
Yeah.
HD versions of stuff. I'm like,
I was mortified.
I will just happily watch some clips of Michael Keaton and then go to bed. But, yeah.
Okay, go to bed.
Not like right now, but as in
Yeah,
I don't need to watch
yeah.
that kind of stuff. Yeah, Disney being real shit houses at the minute. But hey, Ahsoka's
cheeky.
coming out and Hayden Christensen's recorded new lines, so that'll make everyone forget, right?
Yeah. All the
Right.
wrongdoings that we've discussed in the last hour and a half. Yeah.
It's a funny old world, isn't it? And I feel like we get more cynical, jaded, and full of hate.
Hate, anger leads to hate.
Anger leads to
We
hate.
are all Sith humans. We are all Sith. We embrace our passions,
Maybe we should be. Maybe we
release
should
our
just
inner
give in.
emotions, and give in to the dark side.
Let go.
known
of
as
your
life.
anger. Oh,
Yeah.
there it goes. Or maybe I'll come back on those blue ghosts. You were right, Luke. You were motherfucker.
Okay.
You might want to try some manscaping down there. You look like a hot short stack of hotcakes. Oh. Robot Chicken, outdated, but fun. It was funny. Seth MacFarlane back when he was. Yeah, and also the voice of Summer made like hardly anything. Like I think she didn't qualify for healthcare for her 1-year-old. Like she'd gone off and had
Oh,
a
wow.
baby,
Mm.
and hadn't made enough to get the healthcare to help with her son when her son was born or something like that. I might be misremembering the article. Someone please tell me if that's if I'm being accurate. But she said, like, even though I was like, but I'm on Rick and Morty, like I'm main voice on that. I've done she'd done other work as well besides, but was getting
Nothing.
basically fuck all. And a lot of people have said like the outliers in voice artists are and have always been The Simpsons and Family Guy because of how popular they got. They were at the start of a craze of animated shows, and because of how long running The Simpsons is, like eventually you had to pay more and more and more for the stars, and then now you've come back the other way that they've had to take pay cuts to allow more episodes to be
Content
produced
to be
kind of
made.
thing.
Yeah. Okay. Mm.
But they're like much more well off than other artists. You look at stuff like on TV, like one I can remember is 2.5 Men season 10. Well, like, a lot of them American sitcoms. They'll always negotiate like higher salaries at the beginning, like with Game of Thrones. At the end, like they ended up making loads of episodes. Charlie Sheen on season 8 of 2.5 Men. Let me just type that in because I believe it was in the millions per ep.
Jesus.
Or near it. Charlie Sheen salary 2.5 Men. How much were 2.5 Men getting paid? Yeah, 300 grand to 1.8. Yeah, because I remember. So it was for the final season. Because he got paid more and obviously went off the rails. But what is it? Monster Hit. He became the highest. Yeah, he became the highest paid TV actor. Friends can sit back and relax while collecting their checks of 20 million per year thanks to residuals.
Jesus.
Charlie Sheen would have enjoyed the same benefit, making more than 100 million alone off royalties. However, it was said the actor sold his profit participation rights back in 2016 in exchange for a massive $27 million check. All right for some.
Yeah.
But yeah, stuff like that, like those kind of sitcoms, they end up like on fuckloads of money, but then it's the other actors that will just
Reap the benefits.
like the big ones like rise to the top, and the other ones sink
Leave.
to the bottom.
Get left behind. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just mental. Like, you know, all shows like that. I think everything needs to kind of have a market reset,
Yeah.
so to speak. To
yeah,
draw it back
completely.
to football, the transfer market's fucked,
Oh.
and football
What a
players.
shame.
Well, football players are going for, you know, you got in
I would know.
in
Yeah.
layman terms,
Yeah.
a 21-year-old
Mhm.
from Brighton. So
Out of all
Moses
places.
Caicedo,
Yeah. Okay.
he
Yeah.
was sold. He's been bought by Chelsea for 115 million pounds,
Ooh.
which is,
Wonga.
you know, the market has expanded and is now getting unrealistic because players that used to cost, you know, between 10 and 30 million are now
Now-
costing minimum of 50 to 60.
Oh.
The smaller ones can't. It's the same thing. The smaller ones can't compete, kind of thing. You're gonna crash the market. I feel like cinema. Well, not cinema, but like I feel like the movie industry is coming to a cultural. It's coming to a canon event.
A canon event.
That's what I think.
And they're going to disrupt themselves.
I think especially Disney, because I think they're burning a lot of the good reputation
Yeah, with everybody.
that their other franchises have built up. Like as
Yep.
much as I love the MCU, I'm like, these guys are kind of shitty to treat all their staff like this.
Like this, yeah.
Not just like on MCU projects, but Star Wars and stuff, and all the same, and across every other studio. You know, especially when they say they're going to wait until people start losing their homes and apartments before they negotiate, because then they'll take anything.
Yeah.
Proves that like they don't need all this money. They make so much money. Like they don't need it all.
No.
Like I know there's a thing of like money, power, greed, and would come. And I'd like to think if we were in a position like in a few years' time where we were making money off this, that we wouldn't be striving for. Well, we want to be on 50,000 a month. And you know, if we had then people working for us, then oh no, they're still getting paid fuck all.
No. It's not right.
It's like
None
those
of
bosses
it's...
that like kind of elevate the pay to almost like not to bang on similar, but like will elevate the pay because they know that happy workforce equals, you know, happy working environment, and you know the output is more positive and, you know, achievable.
The algorithm, yeah.
But I don't fucking know. Who are we to judge the movie industry? But I feel like films will carry on. Films are back because, you know, Barbie's made over $1 billion. But the film industry itself, I think, is about to have a long, hard look at itself and might not be the same again. And it all started really with the fact that COVID come and they were like, great, we can sell the movie straight into the homes and not have to share the money with the cinemas, when they're forgetting that cinemas and the experience are what makes the film and what gets the audience in and what's, you know, still the best way for watching a film. I'd rather pay £8 for a ticket. I mean, I don't have to because it's unlimited, but I'd rather do that than have to pay $21.99 on Disney Plus to watch
it at
Black
home
Widow
with a potential
on
crappy
premium.
with a potentially crappy internet signal that can go kaput at any minute.
Yeah.
And then you watch it once, and then they can literally tweak it whilst you're asleep, and you can wake up the next day and be like, "Oh, that blue thing in the background is now a
Red.
pink." Yeah, pink. Yeah. And yet they hadn't updated it, so when they describe the blue object, and you're like, "Well, it's fucking pink." But then the day after, sorry, it is now turquoise. They could just do it like, you know, control whilst people are not watching. Yeah.
It's a horrible world that we're living in, and we can't stop it. But what are your thoughts on the movie
Edits.
industry? Are we heading to? Heading to the end times? Are we swirling the big Armageddon whirlpool of films not being as well?
Yeah, as
I'd
well
like to
represented,
hope
as special as they were.
that Disney would lose some money, at least.
Yeah.
If we get anything out of this,
Surely.
I want actors and writers to be paid fairly to be able to afford healthcare and afford their housing and their rent and stuff. And I want Disney to lose some money, and a lot of the other big studios that are arseholes.
Yeah.
Some people need I think some people need
A reality
cultural
check.
reset and
A reality check.
Yes. Connor, what can they do? The people, these ones,
These ones. You found us on YouTube. Welcome, congratulations. Thank you for hopefully staying. If you like to share the love across our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram page, as well as our TikTok, where we'll try to post more. Again, me, because I'm the one that gets to see movies more on time. Sort of honest thoughts, first reactions, and honest recommendations. Should you waste your money on this? Should you love and cherish this with the rest of your life? But if you have any electronic mails, then send them to nerdbiblecontact@gmail.com. If any ideas, any comments, any quandaries you might have, any suggestions you want to actually see us film something, perhaps, just let us know, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, sounds good. See you then.
Bye.
It can get weirder.